Today's date is January 2nd, 2024, and I am marking today as my first day working on my ERAS tour outfit. I'm going to be knitting it myself, or at least the top I'm going to be knitting. My concert is in February. I have two. I have one on the... I actually always forget the dates. So I'm seeing her on Sunday the 18th of February in Melbourne, and then Sunday the 25th of February in Sydney. I don't know which concert I'm going to wear this outfit to yet, because it'll probably just depend on the weather and like when I finish it. But I'm gonna be wearing it to one of the concerts, and then the other one I'm gonna do another fun outfit that doesn't involve me knitting it. I have, roughly a month and a half. I'm obviously gonna aim to finish it before the 18th so that I can potentially wear it to the Melbourne concert if it makes more sense weather-wise to do so, which I have a feeling it will, because Melbourne weather, especially in the end of summer, can be super chaotic and unpredictable. Obviously, I'm still very much in the early stages, but my overall plan is this. To be honest, I'd been thinking about this for a while and I hadn't really landed on a specific idea. I kind of just knew I wanted to try and use up as many like scraps or stash yarn as possible. I really didn't want to be buying new yarn for this outfit because I just have so much leftover yarn and just random bits and pieces lying around that I feel like could be put to good use for something like this. I've been wanting to do a scrap project for a while. I probably still easily can do many scrap projects with the amount of yarn I have, but I thought maybe this would be a good opportunity because the less money I'm spending on these concert outfits, the better. So if I can be resourceful, then that is a win. So I thought about it and I was like, well, how can I incorporate all my scraps? And I figured that since this is the ERAS tour and I didn't really want to settle on one specific era for the knit outfit at least, I thought I could maybe do something that incorporates all the eras and all the colors of the eras using all my scrap yarn, which was like, oh my god, amazing idea. Like, Jamie, you're a genius. Until I kind of realized I was actually kind of missing quite a few colors. I had like a bit of a rummage through my scraps like a few weeks ago, and I was like, wow, I have so much of certain colors that like work more with my general color scheme that I usually will use. I just gravitate towards brighter colors and pastels, but I don't have a lot of like neutrals, grays, blacks, beiges, reds. It's so random because red is not a neutral, but yeah, I just don't knit with a lot of red. Even a bit with like dark blue for midnights, I struggled, but I had like no problems with like, honestly, like Debut, Fearless, Speak Now, Lover, 1989. Those five I had no issues with, the others a little bit harder. I ended up kind of accounting for this in two ways. Firstly, the design idea I've kind of landed on is to kind of somehow incorporate the Lover House. I'll put an image of that on the screen in case you don't know what that is, on a vest of some sort. That is like the main idea. In terms of the back, I'm not really sure yet, but I want to do something fun, so I will keep you updated once I kind of come up with an idea. I've done a little sketch on my iPad, if you can probably see here, yeah, of the general idea I'm going for. I've drawn up the house with all the different colors here, and you can kind of see like it's not gonna be that much of each color, if that makes sense. Like I'll still need like a bit of yarn for each color, but I don't need to kind of worry so much about the ones that I don't have a lot for, because I think I should be fine. Like it's only gonna like realistically be like, the house will probably be like that big. So I think it will be fine. I probably have way too much yarn for a lot of these eras, but that's okay. I'll just get to pick and choose which ones I want to use for those ones. But for the ones where I'm kind of limited, I think I'll be okay. Hopefully. I recently just got back from a trip to South Africa and I went to Cowgirl Blues, which is a dye studio / yarn store in Cape Town, and they do like little mini skeins. They were also just so affordable, especially with the exchange rate. So I was able to get like all these like tiny little mini skeins, kind of fill in the blanks of the colors I felt like I didn't have enough of. And then also they were so nice. I think it's just like a thing they do when you buy yarn from them. They just like throw in all these like even minier, like I don't even know, I haven't weighed them, probably like somewhere between like 2 to 5 grams, like tiny little like bits. They called it yarn candy, and they were like, take whatever you want, and then they just like threw in a bunch more. So I was able to actually kind of distribute those around as well. So this is like really what I want. Like I really don't even need much more than this, because I can just kind of hold yarns together and put them together, and that's kind of the vibe I'm going for. So with that, I was kind of able to fill in the blanks. That was kind of the only money I really spent like intentionally towards it, but it was like so not a lot because the exchange rate was amazing and they were like tiny little skeins anyway. So with all that in mind, I think I'm gonna be okay. I'll insert a clip now. I've got everything laid out on my bed and I can show you all the yarn that I have. this video is sponsored by Cricut. Cricut makes smart cutting machines that are operated by a user-friendly app to help you design, create, and personalize anything you'd like. From custom cards, unique clothing, everyday items, and so much more, it's literally a crafter's dream. Cricut have recently launched their brand new cutting machine, the Cricut Joy Xtra. It's a compact, lightweight, and extremely versatile machine, perfect for creating professional-looking stickers, labels, merchandise, cards, signs, and more. What sets the Cricut Joy Xtra apart is its A4 material size, which means it can perfectly cut printed images from any standard inkjet printer using the print then cut feature. I was super excited to test this feature out for some DIY projects of my own. What I love about the Cricut Design Space app is that it gives you access to thousands of pre-designed templates, images, and fonts, which makes the process of creating something beautiful a lot less intimidating. But it also gives you the option to upload your own images or designs, which is about as personalized as it gets. Naturally, I wanted to try and incorporate knitting into my Cricut projects somehow, and whilst you obviously can't create knitwear with a Cricut machine, I decided it would be a cute idea to create digital drawings of all 18 designs that are included in my upcoming book, Fast and Fabulous Knits, which could then be uploaded into Cricut Design Space. Using the aforementioned print then cut feature, I was able to create little stickers of each of my designs, which are just so adorable. I was also able to use the printable iron-on sheets and the Cricut Easy Press Mini to make my own custom tote bag featuring all my designs, as well as this cute little zip pouch that I customized using one of the pre-designed phrases available on Design Space. I just typed knit into the search bar and there were heaps of fun designs to choose from. The Cricut Joy Xtra is honestly so easy to use. I love just being able to press a button on my computer and next thing you know, the machine is working its magic, cutting with precision, and it's honestly just so much fun to watch the magic happen. I am super happy with how my first ever Cricut projects turned out. I was a little nervous at first because I've never made any projects like this before, but Cricut have heaps of online resources, videos, and courses available for beginners to guide you through every step of the way. This was obviously super helpful and really gave me the confidence to just give it a go. With any craft, the first thing you make is most likely going to be the worst thing you make. So considering my first Cricut projects turned out pretty well, it makes me so excited to see what I'll create next. The Cricut Joy Xtra is now available at Officeworks and Harvey Norman. Let me know in the comments below if you have any ideas of what I should make next. And thanks so much again to Cricut for sponsoring this video. Okay, I've laid out kind of what I think I'm going to use. I mean, I probably won't use all of these for some of the eras, but more or less, these are all the eras. We have Debut, so a bunch of green bits and pieces. I'm gonna go in order. Okay, Fearless, Fun, what's next? Speak Now. I have a lot of purple. I definitely won't be using all of this, but it's good to have options. Red, less populated. I don't use a lot of red, so I actually had to get these little mini ones, and this is the only red yarn I had, and it's a lot thicker than I would probably like to be using, but it's fine. What's next? I don't even know where we're up to. 1989. Okay, so this is my blue section, looking pretty good. And then Reputation is also not the most populated. I don't have like any black yarn, so this is kind of as good as it's gonna get. Yeah, and this kind of like, I'll probably use this for folklore as well, maybe like sprinkle it between both. And then I just have some greens because of like the snakes. And then Lover. This was what I ended up with. I actually had so much more pink yarn, so no shortage of pink yarn for me, but this is what I'm more or less gonna be working with. Probably not even all of it, but this is the vibe. And then Folklore. I've got a bit of white in here just because I was thinking also like the cardigan. I feel like it works and it'll blend nicely with the grey. I didn't have a ton of grey, so kind of needed that. And then Evermore. I've kind of done a mix for Evermore. I was gonna just do this kind of like maroony red, but I didn't really have enough, so I thought I would sprinkle these in. It's kind of giving me like ivy vibes. And then this, I feel like on the Lover House, I feel like it's Evermore is kind of like this weird beigey tan color. So yeah, I've kind of got a bit of everything. I don't know how well this is showing up on camera, but yeah, this is like some old acrylic yarn that I had. And then Midnight's last but not least, so lots of dark blues to kind of blend together. And yeah, so that's all the eras. And then for the base color, I'm thinking I'm gonna use this beige. It's not even beige, maybe like an off-white, I don't even know, cream off-white color. It's this Isager yarn Eco Soft. I bought this while I was in somewhere in Denmark. I think I was in Aarhus. Yeah, pretty sure. I think this was the last yarn purchase I made on my trip to Scandinavia a few months ago. And I have 4 skeins of this, so I'm trying to be resourceful and I'm trying not to buy yarn for this, so I figure I've already bought this, so I'm just gonna use it. I think I'm gonna hold it double. I'm gonna have to do some swatches to see, but I'm feeling like holding a double will be better, and hopefully it'll be a little bit airy because it's actually 56% alpaca and 44% organic cotton, so it actually is kind of summer friendly because there's cotton in it. So yeah, that's kind of all I have planned at the moment. I'm gonna need to do some swatches to figure out what needle I'm gonna use, and obviously like what my gauge is so I can do all the maths and work out how many stitches to cast on. That's kind of like the first step to freehanding something or designing something. I do think I'm gonna need to get some black yarn to kind of make like an outline of the lover house, because there's kind of like a black outline on the actual house, and I'll probably add that in afterwards, like either use duplicate stitch or maybe some surface crochet or something to add in that outline like after the fact. I don't think I'm gonna knit it into the piece. That will be future Jamie's problem, but I do want to get started on this. I feel like I'm working on a bunch of stuff and I don't want to be rushing this, and so it's better to start now. I don't want to be stressed and I want it to be like a calm and fun process. So yeah, I'm trying to be good, and I'm giving myself several weeks, like over a month to do this, so I should be okay. Okay, I've had to put the light on in here because it's just gotten so dark and I need to be able to see what I'm doing. I've begun my swatch. I'm currently using 6.5mm needles. I don't know really why. I think they're probably a little bit small for holding this yarn 2 strands together, but I don't know. I thought I'd probably start on the smaller side. It's actually quite nice, and I think with blocking, it would get a little bit drapier. It's definitely not like super stiff. I could probably use 7mm needles and that would probably be a little bit more appropriate, but I think I'm gonna finish this swatch, see how I like it. I'll block the swatch and then kind of assess on if I need to go up a size. I haven't actually quite decided exactly how I want it to fit me. It's definitely gonna be a little oversized because I also want to have a bit of breathing room. So I'm thinking like a bit oversized, not too oversized. I don't want it to look like super like boxy. I'm thinking maybe I'll model the sizing and like measurements off of my Heard It Through the Grapevine vest. I think I'll just copy the measurements for that because I really like how that vest fits me, and I do layer that one quite often, but I also can wear it on its own. I think that that will be probably the right way to go, because I want to like have enough space to like really showcase the yarn and do the whole design and whatnot, and I feel like if I make it too like fitted, then I'm kind of limiting myself with the amount of space that I have available. So yeah. Okay, as I'm knitting this up, I'm actually starting to think that this is probably gonna work quite well. Okay, I'm almost finished the swatch, so I'm going to quickly finish it off now. I'll measure the unblocked swatch, I'll block it, measure the blocked swatch, and we'll see how we go. Okay, I've just finished my swatch. Hopefully you can see it properly. It's definitely not like super stiff, so I don't think it's an issue, and I think once I blocked it, it will kind of relax a little bit. So yeah, I'm gonna go block it now. Okay, I've blocked my swatch. It's a little bit hard to film this. Sorry about the shadows, but that is it. My swatch, it's blocking, it's drying. Just put a few pins in it. But that's what it looks like. My measurements didn't really change like at all. It grew slightly widthwise, but lengthwise it's the same. So yeah, I think it kind of just relaxed a little bit. I am gonna be obviously using a whole lot of different fibers for the lover house part, but the main like base and like the whole back I think is probably going to be in that yarn. So I wanted to at least know what that would be. Obviously the ribbing as well, which I think I'm going to start on now. I think I can use my measurements for that swatch to figure out my stitch count and just get started on the ribbings, just so that I kind of feel like I've started. I don't think I'm going to do anything for the actual house yet. I think I want to chart that out. Anyway, yeah, I think I'm going to get started on the ribbing, and I will update you once I've done the ribbing. Okay, I finished the ribbing. I did about 6 centimeters. I feel like that's kind of my go-to. I think it's good. I'm kind of like, should I have done like 5 centimeters? Yeah, I might unravel a row. I always do this. I'm like, actually, wait a minute, maybe not. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna unravel a row, and then I'm gonna, I don't know if I'm gonna keep going. I'm really tempted to keep going, but I think it's just because I feel like knitting, but I think I need to proceed with caution because I don't want to have to keep rubbing this. So I'm going to unravel a row, and then I'm going to pick this back up once I have my plan fully set out for how I'm going to do the lover house. Okay, I got excited. So I did the chart and I've actually charted out like all the shaping as well. If you can see, like, I'll bring the computer closer. You can see I've done the shaping around the edges, the armhole edges and the neckline. Okay, it is still January 2nd. It's like 9 o'clock. I've been working on this, it's like a good portion of the day, on and off. I'm just like staring at the floor, which is full of just like so much tangled yarn. It's like just so chaotic. I don't know why I didn't think that this was gonna happen. Like, I knew it was gonna happen, but like I couldn't quite prepare myself for like how intense this is. But okay, this is where we're at. So yeah, I'm about just over halfway through the first section of the house. So I'm imagining, okay, it's gonna be like double this length. So I don't know, I feel like the size of the rooms maybe aren't going to be as big as I kind of like imagine they would be. Once I get to the point where I finish the first house, if I'm like, no, that's way too small, that's gonna look weird, I can just make the vest longer. So I can just readjust the chart and make it so that the vest will be longer. Because right now I have it like pretty cropped because it's just like how I normally like to make my vests. But if I have to make it a little bit longer so I can have more kind of rows available to make the house and like the rooms bigger, that's fine. The thing I'm realizing I definitely just should have done, but I think I was just impatient and didn't feel like going to buy yarn today. Didn't feel like leaving the house because it was so miserable. Is that I should have got that black yarn and used it like throughout the piece rather than doing duplicate stitch after, because I feel like, I mean, I'm not wasting a ton of yarn, but like I'm doing like like the whole reason I didn't want to use the black yarn was because I was like, oh, I don't want to do like one stitch of black yarn, like that will look so weird. Let me just do white and then I'll duplicate stitch it after. But then I'm like, I'm doing one stitch of the white and then I'm going to duplicate stitch over the one stitch. So it's like all of these bits like here in between, you can see like in between these boxes, they're not even going to be seen. So I'm just wasting yarn. But that's just what happens. Sometimes I make dumb decisions. I don't think things through fully. I get excited about something. I just want to start it and I don't, even when I think I'm planning everything out and I'm taking all the steps to make sure that I don't do the dumb things, I still end up doing dumb things. So yeah, I think I just have to deal with it. Like, I'm not gonna go back and like do this again, honestly, because like it's literally fine. It's not much yarn that's being used for these bits. Oh well, I guess. Anyway, I'll show you what the floor looks like right now because it's just chaos. I'm probably gonna be done for the night pretty soon. I might try and get to the end of this house, but like it takes so much longer once I start doing the intarsia. Like before that I was like, oh my god, I'm doing this so fast, like I'm gonna finish this by the end of the week. But no, I'm definitely not going to, because this takes a while, just like working with all the different strands and figuring out when I want to do color changes. I want to incorporate as much yarn as possible, which might be like a mistake, but it's fine. Anyway, I do think it looks cool. Like, I'll show you closer up before I show you the floor. Like, I don't know if you can see, but like, it looks pretty good. I mean, the lighting is pretty bad right now. I'll definitely show it to you at some point when it's a nice sunny day and I can show it to you in better lighting. This isn't even like the worst it's looked on the floor right now, but I'll just show you. So like, this is my current floor. Like, this is the situation. Yeah, it's not great. It could be better, it could be worse. Okay, so I've just got to the part in the chart, like I've just gotten to where I've made it the end of each, I keep repeating the word room in the house, like each like rectangle, and I don't like the length. I think they need to be just slightly longer. Just like looking at the reference photo, I just think proportionately this just looks like no one would be able to stand in that room. It looks just like too small, and I need it to be longer. So I could definitely make the vest longer. I think right now I have it at like total of 43 centimeters, but I can definitely make it longer than that. That's pretty cropped. So I think I will. So I'm gonna have to rework the chart just a little bit. I think I'll just add a couple of rows and then just move it around accordingly. And then I guess I'll keep knitting. But yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking even like an extra 2 rows, I think, for 2 rows per room, I think will just make it look a little bit more like the original, you know? Okay, I have much less of a mess right now because I have cut the first colors. So I just have the off-white cream, whatever you want to call it, yarn attached to my work. So many ends. It's okay, I'll deal with those later. I don't know what's going on with like the light, sorry. I'm just gonna try and like hold it like this. So yeah, I'm actually quite happy with the size of the rectangles now. I feel like it looks a little bit more like a room. I'm just like picturing 3 different like levels of the size, and I think that that will look like a house and it will look good. So I'm happy that I just quickly went and reworked the charts, added a couple of extra rows. It's getting kind of late. I don't think I'm going to attach the next colors yet, just because I just don't know if I feel like working on this anymore tonight. But yeah, I wanted to show you a little update. So this is all in a day's work. So this is day 1 in the books. All right, it's the next morning. It's literally been raining all morning, but it just stopped so I can get a little bit of light and show you what it looks like in the daylight. I'm pretty happy with it, honestly. I think the colors look really pretty. You can see how I've kind of like tried to incorporate as many different strands of yarn as I can. I'm gonna be out most of today, so I wanted to try and get a bit of knitting time in this morning, and I was about to start, but it would appear we've encountered our first like proper knot. And like I found a lot of satisfaction out of getting like untangling these knots, because there's so many strands involved because I'm holding this double. So it's definitely gonna be a task. I think I'm making some progress, but it's just so hard to keep track of all the strands because there's so many. But hopefully I'll get this sorted so that I can start knitting. Oh my God, like hell, this is actual hell. I don't know why I'm subjecting myself to this. By choice, by choice. Remind me to never do this again, seriously. Okay, knots have been untangled. I have all my new colors of yarn in front of me, my chart, and I'm actually ready to start knitting again. Okay, I have just finished the second level of the house. So this is how it's looking. I'm really, really happy with it. The back, lol. Yeah, I really like the yellow. Like I don't know, the way that like there's a bit of fluff because I use a bit of this mohair, but then I don't know, just like a bunch of different shades of yellow kind of blending together. And then the gray turned out really good in the end. I was like not sure because I didn't have that much gray. I wasn't sure how it was gonna look, but I actually think it looks really, really nice and very folklore-esque. And then yeah, the red also turned out really good. Didn't have that many red yarns, so it was kind of like the same yarns for most of it. When I ran out of the red mohair, I just added this like, it's kind of orange, but it blends well because it's like so thin, it kind of doesn't really matter. This like lace weight single orange yarn from Calgo Blues that I had, just a little bit of it. And that was just like the last couple of rows. I don't know if you can see so well. Yeah, you should be able to see. So like that's where the mohair was, and then that's where like the orange comes in. So yeah, we're already like a third, no, not a third, like 2/3 pretty much of the way through the house. Obviously there's like the roof as well, but yeah, this is like coming together a lot quicker than I thought it would, which is great because if I can actually finish this Like the sooner the better, honestly, because then it's one less thing I'm worrying about closer to the time of the concert. And right now I have like a little bit less on my plate because I'm just kind of coming out of the holiday break. So I feel like it's actually a really good time to spend a good amount of time working on this, especially while I'm like really excited about it. And it's just like such a mess. I feel like I just need to like do it so that the mess goes away. Once I finish the house, I think I'm just gonna feel way better. I'll probably finish the front like as soon as I can. I think it will look better once I have the black outline between the rooms. Still not really sure what possessed me to do it in white and why I thought that was a good idea, because I'm just gonna have to duplicate stitch over it, but oh well. Anyway, I'm gonna keep knitting. I'll keep you updated when I start the next level. So I've just finished my first 2 rows, I keep saying that. Just finished my first 2 rows of the 3rd level, and I'm just not sure about these colors I've chosen for Evermore. It's giving a bit like Christmas vibes, and I know it's like, 'tis the damn season. Like it is definitely like, it definitely is the right color scheme, but I feel like because all of the others are kind of so monochrome, it's kind of like, to have like all these different colors in here, especially this this one, this like beige, golden beige color. I just feel like it's not working and it's standing out too much and it's making Evermore just like look too weird. So I think I'm gonna frog back 2 rows and start this section again. I don't know what to do though, because I don't really have any other yarn that like suits the color scheme, and I definitely would need another strand because it's already like a little bit thinner than the others. So I might just need to see if I can like double this color. I think that would make more sense because this is a DK. So if I just like figure out a way to find the other end of this like random ball of yarn, I think that's gonna be my best option. So I'm gonna do that now. Okay, I've gone back and added the extra strand and taken out the beige, and I think it looks a lot better. I also found this mohair that I didn't even realize like actually looks quite nice with the Evermore color scheme. I never really thought about it. I think I originally had it in Speak Now, but then I was like, oh, it just doesn't really match the others as much. I kind of saw it more as a purple, but it's actually kind of like a reddy purple. So I've just added it in. You can't really see it right now because I think I added it in like on like the last stitch or something of this row, but I'll use it for the rest of the section. So yeah, I think I've fixed it and ready to keep going. Delicious. Okay, I just feel like I've been sitting here all day. It hasn't actually been all day, it's probably only been a few hours, but yeah, this is my life now until I finish this house, because I just want my room back to how it was like 3 days ago before I started this, basically. I finished the 3rd tier. It looks so good. I know I'm saying this every time, but like, it's just like almost all the areas have come together, and I just love the blue and pink so much. I think they're just like such fun colors, and that they like really just I'm so obsessed with it. It just looks so much better than I thought it was gonna look. I've already started decreasing on the edges for the armhole, and I still have a few more decreases to go, and I've done this part. I actually haven't I've technically finished the 3rd layer, but like these 2 kind of go into the top, as I said before. So I still have to do Reputation, and then there'll be like a little bit of the roof, I guess, coming in from like, I think it's, yeah, the next row, the row after that. I just can't stop giggling. I'm so excited about this. I just love it so much. I think I'm gonna stop this current session that it has been going on for like 3 hours, I think. And I'm gonna go eat something, maybe run some errands, do some other work, and probably come back and do this either tonight or tomorrow. Hello again. It's been a serious knitting day. It's like 5 o'clock. I thought I wasn't gonna do any more today, but then just the thought of finishing the house today was like too tempting, honestly, just so that I can get all these colors like just back to where they were, all the yarn back into my shelf and not on my bed and on my desk and on my floor. So we're getting there. We're up to the reputation part, which is the roof. I've already started, like, you can see here, like, decreasing, like, well, I'm already decreasing obviously on the armholes, but like also with the color work to like shape the roof, if that makes sense. It's not really decreasing, but like not just working in boxes basically. Apologies that you have to see this. I normally keep my closet door closed when I'm filming because I don't want you to have to see the chaos that is trying to fit all my knits into my closet. But I'm honestly just too lazy to go and close it, so just get a little peek behind the curtain, I guess. I'm actually really happy with how the reputation section is looking. I didn't know what it was going to look like because I'm actually incorporating quite a few different colors. Like I'm using a few different shades of gray, some like mossy, like dark green, and then also I had like a bit of this like mohair that's kind of like a charcoaly blue, if that makes sense. Very cool tone, dark blue. So I thought it would kind of blend in maybe with the grey and give, you know, an extra little bit of just interest in the colour. And then I'm also using like the charcoal grey, dark grey black thing that I have from Cowgirl Blues. That's like the darkest yarn I've got. So kind of putting all those colours together, I wasn't really sure how it was going to look, but you can kind of see, hoping it focuses so you can see, yeah. It's like pretty cool because I didn't want to do just black or grey. I wanted to incorporate green, firstly because I had some green so it was easier, and then also because I feel like the reputation era, yes, it's like black is the color, but also the snake imagery is so strong, so I definitely wanted to include some of that like snake green, dark green, and also the grey vibes because it makes me think of like the album cover with the newspaper and the like black and white, black and kind of grey, you know, tones. So yeah, I think incorporating all these colors together kind of better represents the album than just using black, and also isn't as like in your face. It's because like so many of these colors are like so nice and bright that like having black, I just feel like is a bit intense, and also because I am gonna have a black outline, I wanted to like differentiate that. So that's basically where we're at. I have a couple rows left still of the reputation, but I've already finished my last rows of the Lavo 1989. So officially the only colors I have attached to my needles right now is the reputation colors and obviously the base color. So it's getting a little less chaotic here. It's definitely still knotted, but we're dealing with it, and oh my god, I'm just excited for this color work part to be over because as fun as it was, it's been quite chaotic just like trying to live in this space with all these colors everywhere and also just knitting with all the colors. It's like hard enough doing intarsia when you have like one color per section, let alone like so many different strands of yarn. It's just making it really, really hard to kind of manage. Normally I'm actually quite good at managing intarsia, but I mean, it's basically impossible with this many strands of yarn held together, especially with like all the different fibers, some of it being like the mohair and like alpaca. I just find it's a lot, like it's like so sticky and it keeps getting like, oh god, it keeps getting like attached and like stuck and caught, and yeah, it's just making it more difficult to manage. Like you can see here, like this mohair is like all tangled and like it's just so much harder to, I mean, if anyone's ever frogged mohair, you would know how hard it is to manage. But I mean, I tend to be able to untangle things, but it's just like you have to keep stopping and it kind of ruins the flow of, you know, knitting. So that's why I feel like I've been working on this for so many hours today, but like the amount of hours I've actually spent like knitting is probably not that many in comparison to how long I've actually been sitting here doing this. Okay, I'm on the last row before I no longer have any more color work, so I thought I would definitely do that one on camera. But yeah, this is what it's like looking like. I'm actually, yeah, I'm gonna need to like take a step back and like lay it out once I've done this and like just make sure that it looks proportionate, because I don't know, I feel like the roof shaping has taken like not a lot of time. I was struggling when I was making the chart because basically if I only did one, I only like I don't even know the right word, but like when you're like changing the colors, like I did it so that like every row I do 2 extra white stitches instead of 1, because if I did 1 it was gonna make it like, and it needs to be a bit more like and not like so yeah, it's just a bit hard to kind of figure out. And I could obviously do like 1 on one row and then 2 on another row, and then I just like, I don't know, I didn't really know how to do it, so I just thought, okay, I'll just do it as 2 each row and I'll just see how it looks. So if this doesn't look good, if it just looks weird and like the roof is too not really like pointy enough, then I think I'll have to go back and fix the chart, which I'm not gonna lie is gonna be annoying, but I'll do it if it has to happen. So we'll just have to see, but I'm really hoping that doesn't happen. Okay, that's that. Let me go put this on my bed and like take a look at it, and then I will let you know what I actually end up doing. So this is what is looking like. Overall, I am happy with it. I'm just deciding, I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, I don't know if I actually have like enough space, because I don't want it to be too long. And I think if I were to unravel and like play around, because the way I have it in my chart is that like the neckline shaping is basically about to start. So I would have to probably like restart it if I was going to make it so that there needs to be more rows, or just make it like the armholes longer. I don't know, I'm really confused. But I think what I'm gonna do, because it's not terrible, it definitely looks like a house. I'm just like looking at this, and like if you can see here, let me just focus it. You can see like it's definitely a little bit more kind of like slanted than mine is. So I'm thinking, because what I've done here is I've gone from 5 stitches to 1. I'm thinking I'm gonna go from 5 to 3 to 1, and then hopefully that will give it kind of just like that extra point. I don't know if that's gonna like make it look a bit lopsided, but we're just gonna see how that goes. I feel like that's my only option, but otherwise, honestly, I think it does look fine, and I think you can clearly tell it's a house, and once the outline is there, I think it will be even more obvious. It's obviously hard when you're charting things to know exactly, and you're like working within like a specific kind of amount of space that you have, because I don't want this to be too long or too big. Anyway, it's all right. Look, I'm not sure exactly how much of a difference that made. Like, probably not a ton, but I think it's the best I'm gonna do. So I think I can officially say, I'm gonna cut the yarn so I can actually be official about it, that I have completed the color work for the front. I'm actually so happy with this. This is like, I just want to see kind of like how it's gonna fit me. Assume the neck shaping starts around here. Yeah, it's the perfect length. It's a bit longer than this one. This is actually the pattern I'm basing it off. This is definitely a little bit longer, but that's totally fine. I think it was good that I added that extra length, because I needed to make these rooms a bit more proportionate, but I think we've achieved that. Anyway, I'm so happy with it. I'm gonna just do the next row, and then I actually need to stop. I've got other things to do. So I'm gonna do the next row, and then I'm going to, I guess, catch up with you tomorrow or whenever I work on this next. Okay, it's the next day, and I just finished off the shaping, which really didn't take very long. And so I can officially say, well, the front panel minus the duplicate stitch is done. So this is what it will kind of look like on me. Also ignore all of the ends sticking out. But yeah, so this is what it's gonna look like. I'm really happy with the length. I was a bit like, oh, I'm not sure, because like the house takes up so much space. Like it is what I wanted, but the house like really does, like it takes up pretty much the entire thing. I don't know, like I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like, yeah, it's a big house, especially with like the outline on it too. But I feel like at this point I'm too far gone. I'm not gonna go and redo it. So yeah, I am happy with it. And I think once I have the neck trim and the ribbing, it will feel a little bit more like there's a bit more of a background, because right now there isn't much. I also need to go buy some black yarn, so maybe I'll do that this weekend. All right, it's the next day. It's a little bit sunny, so just excuse that. I'm about to go now to my local yarn store, because I need to get that black yarn, and it's a nice day to just like be out and about, because it's like super hot and sunny. So I was like, yeah, I'd rather probably do this today, because it's gonna be so much rain the next 2 days. I was like, I'm not gonna want to leave the house, so this is me taking advantage of beautiful day. I might even like go to the beach later or something. We'll see. The goal is black yarn that like is, you know, a similar weight to my base color, so that then I can either hold a double, or if I find something thicker, that's also fine, so that I can duplicate stitch my black outline. So yeah, anyway, let's go to a yarn store. All right, got the goods. I ended up going for this Xtra Alpaca Air. I've actually worked with this yarn before. I used it in a blue color for my sweater number 20 that I ended up frogging, and I'm gonna re-knit. But yeah, this is like a 12 ply yarn. So it's pretty similar in weight to the yarn that I use as my base color. And it's 80% baby alpaca, 20% acrylic. I remember this being 100% alpaca. I don't know if they've changed it, but anyway. It was probably like the best like fluffy black yarn that I could find, and because the one that I'm using is also got a lot of alpaca in it, I thought that it would kind of just blend well and like not look too out of place if I used something that was like pure merino. So this is what I ended up getting. It's a bit more money than I was willing to spend. I think it was $14, so I wasn't really wanting to spend that much just for like one ball of yarn that's just gonna be the outline, but whatever, is what it is. Supporting my local yarn store, so could be worse things. But they were lovely. I haven't been there in so long, but the lady working there, she knows my name somehow. I think she follows me on Instagram, but like I haven't been there in so long. I was actually quite surprised that she like recognized me, and she was like asking about my book. So yeah, that was a nice exchange. I should really go there more often. It's just that like it's so expensive that like whenever I go, I'm always like try not to spend so much money. Anyway, I'm gonna turn my car on. I'm literally sweating. It's so hot. But I think I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna just see how this looks, do a little bit of duplicate stitch and see how we go. All right, so I've spent like 20 minutes already working on this. I just watched like a 20-minute YouTube video, and I haven't even finished like the bottom, I guess like row, whatever, like the base of the house. I still have like a few stitches left, and I think it will start to take quicker just because I cut such a long strand of yarn, because I was just like, if I can just, the less ends I have the better, basically, because I don't want to just add on to the million ends I already have to weave in. So it just means that I have to like, for each stitch is just like pull. This isn't even as bad as it was when I first started, because obviously I've used a bit of yarn already. So hopefully as I go it will be a little bit quicker. Anyway, just thought I would let you know this process is going to take a little bit longer than I thought it would. Let me just show you what it looks like properly so you can see. So that's the bottom bit. Yeah, I don't think it looks too like drastic. I think it's going to be like a nice just like outline that's gonna like properly outline each house, each room in the house, rather than having the white lines. I think, yeah, it definitely looks better with the black and more like the original. So anyway, that's how it looks. Okay, I'm back. I went to the beach. It was lovely. Came home, had a shower, and I've been working on this again just because I'm so motivated with this project. It's so weird. I feel like sometimes I get on these like little kicks with certain projects that like I just get really excited about, and this one is such a relatively quick project, like in comparison to my Monday sweater that I'm working on at the moment, which seems to be taking me forever. So anyway, I got to the point where I'm at like the literal point of the roof. So I've done this whole section. This took quite a while. I think it looks okay. It's a bit hard to do duplicate stitch like only going up. I got to the top and I realized I've got like live stitches on hold here, and I haven't done the neckline yet, and like the stitch that I would need to go into for like the point for the duplicate stitch is literally like still on my stitch holder. So I think I'll just do that part once I've done the neckline. I'm not gonna obviously do the neckline until I've done the back as well. So I kind of have to wait to do that. I may be jumping the gun doing this black part, but I don't know, I want to see kind of how the whole thing kind of looks. Alright, so I've just finished stitching up, doing the duplicate stitch across this side, which means I have finished, except for this one stitch that I need to do, which I'll do after I've done the neckline, as I mentioned earlier. So it's done. I'm happy with it, like generally overall. If I'm gonna be picky, because I'm always gonna be like a bit nitpicky about the things that I make, I think it's a bit big. Like I think it took up a bit more space on the vest than I'd like originally envisioned, but like oh well, I'm not going back and fixing it, like just not. It's like way too far gone at this point. If I was to go and do this again, like let's say I was to make another one of these, I would, yeah, firstly make the house a bit smaller, and then I would also not duplicate stitch the black. I would just use intarsia, because I'm not so much about the horizontal lines. Those are fine. For some reason, when you're duplicate stitching like in a line going up, which I kind of had to do for these vertical lines, like you'll even notice like it's not even nearly as bad on this part, but just for the parts that go completely vertical, it's like, I don't know why, but like it's just the way that you have to do it, especially because I'm doing like 2 strands over 2 strands. It just like thickened it. Yeah, this like stitch, like row of stitches is just like bigger than the others, and like it's kind of like a little bit textured and like stands out. So what I'm hoping happens is like when I block it, I can kind of stretch it out a little bit and just everything will kind of relax and not be so tense, and fingers crossed, like a major fingers crossed, that I can get it to look a bit more normal. But I think overall, like it's not the end of the world. I just think the black is a bit intense. Like I'm really not used to using black yarn in general, let alone like it being this intense. So I think I just have to get used to it. I'm also like used to seeing it with the white outlines, and now I'm seeing it with the black. So I'm just trying to like get used to it. But every time I look at the reference image, I'm like, no, there is black. It's definitely not as thick as this, but it's fine. It's okay. Like it's gonna look great. Once it has a neckline, like I think it will be a bit less intense. Yeah, that's kind of the front officially done. Hi, I'm popping in from the future. I've been editing this vlog and I've realized I have way too much footage for this to just be one video. I mean, I'm already over 40 minutes in and haven't even gotten onto the second panel yet, so I just decided that I'm going to turn this into a series. I'm not sure if it'll be 2 or 3 parts. I think I'll just have to determine that once I start editing the next part, but I'm thinking it's most likely going to be 3 parts, but maybe 2. We'll just have to see. I definitely filmed a lot more than I kind of realized I was filming at the time, so I hope you'll stick around to watch the next part or parts and to see how the finished best turns out. If you got to the end of this video, make sure to give it a like, because it's long and we've still got a bit of a journey ahead of us. So thank you for sticking through it and coming along this journey with me. Don't forget to subscribe and turn the post notifications on so that you know when I upload the next part to this series. And if you want to get early access to these videos and get more exclusive content, I do have a Patreon. Link will be in the description to my Patreon, as well as all my other social medias, as well as a link to pre-order my book, which is coming out in April. Thank you so much to my Cable Cuties patrons. Your names I'll put on the screen over here. I really appreciate your support. It just means the absolute world to me. Anyway, I think that's all for this video. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one.